Hi guys. Today we're going to kind of continue on where we started with the story about the party, and because we never got to the party that came later. And first of all, let me get this tablet on so I can read your questions. See if I'm in the center of the frame. I did try to sharpen the focus a little bit on this camera. This is the stand from the family in New Jersey microphone stand, so that you'll be able to hear me better. Um, for those of you who did not know, we started these stories around August 6th or so, on the same couch, with a different setup. And so we're gonna try to continue with that. Okay. So first of all, I didn't turn the tablet on right away. So unfortunately, if you give me a second to turn on the tablet here so I can read the chat and see if I'm in frame. Um, the story should be pretty interesting, actually. Just give me a second. It's still loading up here. Okay, there you go. This is not the fastest tablet in the world. I mean, it's okay, but it's not the fastest. It's a little bit slow. Just make sure we're in focus here. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's green, great. Okay, so we're going to continue on where we left off. Put it on the screen here so I can see it. Let's see if I can hear my sound, too. I didn't check that. Let's see if my sound's working. We left off. Put it on the screen here so I can see it. Check that. Let's see if my sound's working. We left off. Okay. After we had gotten settled in on the ship, it was decided that because all the people that have been so excited seeing our tour of the ship on our YouTube channel, we decided to have a party. And a big party at that. Given the number of people that watched the show, we wanted to reach out to as many people as we could. So we said to Kaylin and Sirith, let's arrange for a big band, Arcturian, Palladian, humans, rock and roll band, big band, swing band, whatever, a large dancing area. I said, well, we have that. We have a, what they call a staging area sometimes for like military exercises where we can easily, comfortably have close to like 500 people. I said, perfect. quietly and quickly we set up a setup where there was a bandstand, a dance floor, and so people are going to need to be able to eat. So what about we give you guys, the Palladians and the Arcturians, a chance to try human food made by human vendors, and also at the same time we can have Palladian and Arcturian food as well for humans to eat. What's the channel about? It's a little bit of everything. It's a story channel, YouTube channel. It focuses on community and other things. So it's really a mixed bag. But tonight we're going to finish on a story that I started around August 6th, which I came up with, but I never got a chance to finish. We're working on this part of the story with the party. Now, the story occurs pretty much right after me, Lumi, Carmen, David, Tara, that's spelled Tara, my daughter Tara, have settled into her apartment on the ship. Because we have an apartment on the ship, we finally settled in and we got all comfortable. And so that's what we did. We have this place on the ship. So we set up, and then we agreed to work. We contacted a couple of human vendors that agreed that they wanted to feature some of the food in their country. I said, cool. So they came up on the ship, and we had pizza, we had hamburgers, we had donuts, we had lasagna, we had Chinese, Japanese, Hawaiian, Chilean, Cuban, all kinds of food. Palladians showed us featured foods from their areas of the Pallades, including Takeda. It was a big shindig. Really big shindig. Everybody was so excited. They were enjoying great foods. The band was a mix of humans, Arcturians, and Pleiadians, playing a variety of music from different time periods on the different star systems. And acoustic instruments, electronic instruments. They had all kinds of styles of musical instruments ready to go. They had disco lights. They had festive atmosphere. I said, well, getting people up here for the party is not really going to be hard. We just have to use the shuttlecraft. Caitlin said, yeah, the shuttlecraft. The only problem is Michelle, we have to land on Earth. Certainly you can pick up people, say, in the airport. Like we did with Donald Trump and Melania wanted to come too. She didn't come initially, but she did express interest after Donald Trump described the ship, from visiting the ship, that they wanted to come together. Sounds great. So we got everybody set up, arranged with the different FAA and other places that we were going to travel around the world and check out everything. I'm having a problem with my tablet here. All right, let me get say. So everything was really cool. The ship was built. People were happy. People were festive. People were celebrating. People came in. The band came in. Musicians were practicing and playing their instruments. Everybody was having a great time. One of the questions that came up is, what about restrooms? After all, if you're going to have food and drinks, you're going to have people are going to have to relieve themselves. Right, seen on Earth, everybody talks about, because the Arcturians and Palladians don't really worry too much about all segregated bathrooms like humans do. I said, why don't we set up for now? Bathroom set would be segregated. And she said, that's fine, we could do that. So the bathrooms were set up for this party for both separate for men, separate for women. The party was going on for about 4 hours. Music, food, dancing, having a great time. I looked at Sirith and said, I know Lumi's probably going to be a little bit. Oh, she said, I, I, I can read it in your heart. What you're thinking? It is kind of irregular. Yeah, I know, but if Lumi doesn't have a problem with that, let me blush. She said, well, if you're going to play that game, I want to date Kaylin. You want to date Kaylin? Yeah. So, me and Sirius had an informal lunch date, dinner date at the party, dancing, good times. And then afterwards, we spent some personal time in my quarters. Lumi and Caitlin did the same thing. They went ahead and they went back to their room, having a great time. The next day, both me and Lumi came out of the room together and said, Unison, that was the best sex I ever had, as we both broke down laughing. It was really weird because Seraph explained that Arcturians don't normally do that because they normally are more focused on the spiritual. She said there are groups of the Arcturians are actually or don't even have sex, really. So what do you mean? She said, well, there's some of us that are asexual. We don't have sex. And some of us, like me, do. Have you ever had a sex with a woman? She kind of turned more blue. No. She said it was certainly interesting. I'm glad you enjoyed it. There were so many people, I said at the party, it was about 4 hours long. There was 500, 600 average in the big room, but the band was playing, as I said, music from all kinds of groups. It was just huge. The food court was busy as heck. We decided to keep it easy for pricing. We knew that the people that were coming up here with their materials and their stalls couldn't run for free. So we arranged that they would be paid by us, the Nectarians and Palladians, my channel, together to finance the stalls because we were making so much money at over and over, hand over fist. We made over $14,000 that day. Oh, that was not a huge amount, but we also said to the vendors, you can still charge for food because it still takes time and supplies. And they said, fine. The prices were set reasonable. They were set to accept debit cards and credit cards, which meant people didn't have to worry about dealing with exchange rates between all the different people from Earth that were there from the different countries. That solved a lot of headaches for everybody. Nobody went hungry. Nobody starved. That place was a successful shindig. Finally, near the end, Donald Trump and Melania came back on the ship. His wife came in her own shuttle. because she had a meeting first to attend, and then she arranged to get the pickup. She called in to get the ride. He was already kind of there when he was up there and decided to come back up off the Ronald Reagan Airport. He was having a great time. He was just enjoying it and saying, "Look at all the opportunity here. I could I could start an entire Trump. I can start a whole Trump hotel in here. A Trump hotel? Yeah." He said, "Trump hotel in outer space. The Trump Foundation would be rich." Uh, Sarah turned even a deeper blue. Wait, what? You want to turn this into a space station? Could we do that? He said it would solve a lot of problems. Earth doesn't have a space station. And this could be worth good real estate. You think your little hot food court's great? You can make this even bigger. Like 1 kilometer wide by 1.5 kilometers long. All kinds of food kiosks, restaurants, all kinds of amenities. Let's not forget religious organizations, I said. What? What do you mean? Well, Mr. Trump, for a lot of people, this experience was a very deep spiritual thing. I saw Avi Loeb come up to me from Harvard. He looked at me and said, "This is a really, really fascinating larty," he said. "Look at all these people. I was right. I was right," he screamed with pleasure. "This was indeed a ship. This is huge. This is great. I am the first one ever to have announced it." I said to him, I said, "Avi, hold my beer. I actually thought it was a spacecraft before you did." "Really?" he said with a frown. "A lot of us did, but don't worry about it. I'll give you credit where it's due. You were the one in the mainstream media that at least brought it out." He smiled. "I do appreciate that you were bringing it up that I was one of the mainstream from Harvard that brought it up to the attention of the mass media. But some of the stuff that was distributed to you was taken out of context and became clickbait." "Oh," he frowned. "That's YouTube. That's the way YouTube is. Some of the stuff was just taken out of context for clicks." Sarah kind of nodded. "Why does that not surprise me? So many people were told that we were a Malvern vessel ready to blow up their planet into bits. We're not war-like races like the reptilians. Or reptiloids that came in, that they're coming next. What? There's another. We are here to protect you from the cabal. But yes, the cabal has got bases already around this planet. So you need you guys not only as a space dock, a spaceport, but also as a defensive platform," said Trump. Caitlin and Sarah nodded. "Yes, you need us for both." "Well," Trump said, "let me give you some design specs for what I would suggest would be the perfect layout. I think we can make this a really, really productive venture." "President Trump, are you sure as President of the United States that you should be trying to give design specifications to another race of or extraterrestrial peoples? Isn't there something about that in ethics?" "Well, I don't know. I'll have to check the Constitution. I don't think there's anything." Sarah said, "Well, we'd love to have your ideas, because the ship needs to go back to space dock anyway and get refurbished. The ship has been flying around on space for over 200 million years. 200 million years. Yes. This ship is that old? It was actually made before you guys even, when the dinosaurs roamed on Earth. Holy crap. The ship needs some love. We've maintained it as best we could, but it still needs upgrades. Trump nodded. Yeah, remodeling is essential. He said, it seems like there's a lot of things on the ship that just seem a little bit outdated. Caitlin nodded. This room here was originally designed for staging area for militaries. We didn't have a military on this ship. This ship was created as a general purpose ship, originally for military use. But as a observational platform, we didn't use this room. It was empty. She gestured around to the large room where the party was going full swing. We needed to readapt the ship to be better used the space that we have. So I said, so I will do is let me reach out to my son, Donald Trump Jr., he said. See if we can get some blueprints drawn up for you. Get your specific scientists or architects to get in contact with architects and see if we can make something. How long will it take to get back to, because we already settled in our room, how long is it going to take us to get to Era? Caitlin smiled. About 20 years. 20 years? Or she'll be dead by then. Miss, we have ways to keep him healthy and active for a long time. You don't have to worry about him expiring. We have it covered. And it's like we're going to keep you and Lumi young and Carmen too. Because we want you to arrive on Era in a way that you can help communities and the scientists in Era to understand the human as your emissary. Okay. Likewise, said Seraph, I'd like to see if I can talk to the Council of Five and see if you can get you guys to also speak to the Arcturian Council of Five. I think it would be fantastic if we learned more about how Earth has changed. We traveled for so long on the ship that we actually only have... You traveled for hundreds of years. Very slowly, I should add. She smiled. We weren't exactly in a rush to waste fuel. We haven't made some improvements in our engine design since then. But by the time we still get there, it's still going to take a minimum of 20 years. That's assuming the ship doesn't fall apart in the process. It is space-worthy, she said, but the engine design is prototypical, and we don't know if it's going to hold up for that kind of a long trip and the kind of energy output it's going to have to do. So we all enjoyed the night together, drinking coffee, tea, wine, vodka, hard spirits, Palladian drinks, Arcturian food, Palladian food, dancing. And then finally we all went back to our rooms after everybody was transported back to Earth by shuttles. Before he left, Donald Trump shook my hand and said, Michele Marie, Lenny and Finestra, I want to let you know that us here at the United States of America are so proud that you got a chance to show us Three Eye Atlas and what it is. I gave him a nod and a thank you. Asim and Melania went through the airlock to the shuttlecraft that took them down. It was a more modern shuttlecraft than the flying discs because the NASQ-1, which is my ship, was parked quietly in the back of the hangar bay. And they were using the more easier to maneuver shuttlecraft. We watched as they left through this airlock and entered the ship. When I got back to the room, David, my son, said to me, Mom, yeah, what's going to happen now? Well, we're going to be going to Era, and we're going to be setting up home. He said, oh, as he was looking at his little G.I. Joes, I have to admit, just like your G.I. Joe, you're going to be seeing some new things, kid. You're going to get to understand more humans. How so? He said, I know many Palladian kids. Yes, but human kids are not necessarily Palladian kids, especially not the adults anyway. We're different. Well, we're all different. So we're all going to be experiencing new things. He said, I'd like to see that. I mean, I just look forward to seeing what it's like to be living with a human. Carmen was actually showing Tara how to do some simple samba moves in the living room of the ship. She was having fun, sharing some time with my daughter Tara. How's it going, Carmen? It goes good. It goes good. I helped her to learn a couple of new dances. These simple, basic move dances now, because I don't want her to overdo it. She's very, very agile. Well, that's great. Have you decided where you're gonna set up your home on area? Carmen thought about it for a second. I have no idea. We have to see what the place looks like when we get there. It's gonna be a long trip. Oh, I know. I love the fact that I got a second chance to live again. So do I said, holding her hand. So do I. Hey, what about me? You too, Loom. No, thanks. The three sisters, the three cups. The three cups. Yes, like in the tarot cards, you have the three cups. Oh, the three women with the three. Yes, I get it. The three cups. The three cups. It's going to be an interesting journey. You can see that again. But it's going to be a long journey. So we all basically were given the treatments to allow us to live longer and stay young while still staying out of stasis. This allowed us to continue to do my YouTube channel. Tara and David were busy enjoying the new rooms, the toys, and interacting with the other kids that would often come over and play with them. You know, when we said by the time we get to Era, Tara and David are going to be young adults, and their age groups. Oh, I know. Yeah, I said you're going to be young adults. They'll be like what? Coming to what? 17, 18 U.S. Earth years? Yeah, something like that. Most families don't even get a chance to experience the kid's childhood, even that slow. We're getting a chance to experience a long family gathering. But, like Lumi said, you do understand that you're also going to be experiencing a long period of adolescence. I gave her a nasty look. Oh, The teens. Yes, the tweens. You're going to be dealing with a kid that's going to be in the tweens for about 5 to 7 years. 5 to 7 years? Isn't that normally what the tweens are? Yeah, but remember, that's 5 to 7 years. But those are long years. Right now, remember, he's 8 years old and Tara is 9. That means 28, 29 years old, and they'll still be about 14 years old when they finally arrive on Era. 14? I guess I'm going to have to make sure to keep an eye on that kid. Both of them, she laughed. But we'll see how it goes. You know, you never know. No, you know. So that is where we stand with the story right now. Tomorrow is Halloween. And so this was kind of a impromptu story trying to fill in the story that I had started. This is kind of a continuation of that. Coming up next, there will be a part 3, and it's going to be covering the fact that there's going to be a new environment, new people. I know this is one of those short stories, just kind of filling in the blanks. But I also wanted to take some time to talk to you guys real quick, if I can. I want to thank all of you that are here on this channel. All of you who have come to find out what this channel is about. Like I said this morning, this channel is not a drama channel. We're not full pretentious drama. We're not trying to go for reaction stories to make you cringe or feel uncomfortable. We just want you to feel comfortable here. And for me, that means that realizing that you're part of my community, and I want everybody to feel comfortable with being part of the community. Now, when I was reading the story, I couldn't read the chats. But Gaming Fury, how you doing? Good morning to you. And so you can see I did focus the camera a bit better. It's not maybe the best in the world, but we did make it a little bit better. And so that's what we did. And how do I know the screen's focused? As best I can get it. When I can see the flower stems on the back of the plants and the green on the picture above me, and I can see the pattern on my couch pretty well. Then I know I got pretty well focused. I didn't plan to make a long story dreaming this. So there is a lot more to the story too. We have to fill in the story about on part 4 when me, Carmen, Lumi, Tara, David, Rusty build our home on Era and the Tegeta star system in the Pleiades. Also, me and Lumi are going to be members of the local council as emissaries for Earth. We're going to be speaking for Earth in the council. Then there's the story of what happens with 3i Atlas after it is get refurbished in space dock and is ready to establish its space station application and the around Earth. It'll still be a full working ship. It just won't normally be moving much. I'll be just doing station keeping. And it's a big, big thing, which we'll discuss that in another video soon. How Trump's ideas, my ideas, would influence the ship design of the new interior layouts. So, please do put some likes in the like jar. And also, make sure to keep your eyes open for part 4 of the story. I know it's a short story, it's not long. I didn't plan to make it long, but still very important that you understand that there's a lot to my stories. Please note, I didn't even have a written script. I just go by it from memory, and did obviously abridge a lot of the story because some of the stuff was really personal, and I didn't want to get into things that may offend. So I just kept it simple. So this is the other studio that we camera set up. You see the camera off on my morning show, and I turn it on, but you probably don't know what to see it in a video because you're used to seeing me in the other room. And so I decided to do the story here. Now, as far as Halloween, I don't have anything planned for Halloween. We do have the Saturday night Discord open panel. And what that's going to be like, I can't tell you. I have an idea. Oh, no. Oh, yes. I don't know how it's going to work, but I'll tell you what it is anyway. What's that? Why couldn't you set up the turntables and music on another audio card? Say what? In other words, Michelle, what I'm saying is, okay, like, you could theoretically still do Silver Moon tomorrow night. We do it on Sunday. I know. But we could also do it tomorrow night, too. What? You got enough broad bandwidth now to do it that way. No. Oh, my God. That would be so easy to mix up everything, and all of a sudden YouTube is going to get mad at copyright. No. Maybe. You're right. Maybe it wouldn't work that well. That's a great idea. Kind of. But I don't really know if that's a good idea at all, really. So, I don't really get into the Halloween music stuff. Anyway, really, here's why. For me, Halloween is not about spooks. Okay, I know so many people get into Halloween, witches, broomsticks, the spooks, the Wizard of Oz. Why not, right? Wizard of Oz is kind of related to St. Frank Baum when he created Wizard of Oz. Sounded like something that would belong on Halloween, right? The witches, Wicked Witch to the east, Wicked Witch to the west. Glinda the Good Witch, Michelle the Good Witch, which is not a character in the game in the story, but the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, the Scarecrow, Dorothy, whatever. It sounds like something that would belong in Halloween, and it probably does, but I see Halloween or Samhain as a spiritual day when the veils are thin, that I tend to focus more on meditation and prayer than I do thinking of running around doing trick or treat. I have no kids to hand candy to. Um, Sherry Jackson was supposed to be going to come up here. Clearly, something happened to Sherry Jackson. We don't know what happened to her. We don't know where she is. I mean, she could have had complications to her health. We don't know. We really don't know. So, all I can tell you right now is that it's a great night to go ahead and just wrap it up and say thank you very much for listening to this short segment. And we're going to work really hard to try to get the next segment, which is going to talk about the Left Front era, out. I'm going to upload this short segment to Sarah at ChatGPT so she can begin the process of sorting out the story and trying to come up with a story format that is easy enough to read, that works out for the majority of the people. You know what I would do? Well, since you gave her part one and part two of the script originally, the transcripts, yes. How about you turn it into a form that could be a radio play, something that you can that could be a musical. I mean, like an old time radio show kind of thing, a radio script. Yeah, not exactly a drama because it's not really a drama. No, more like a story, a biography of the trip. What happened, when it was like. That sounds like a plan. That sounds like a very good plan. And then you could do the same thing like you were playing from those channels called Starbound and HFY, how you can read the script out and the audience could listen to it on their phones. Yeah, exactly. And maybe you could add sound effects and other things to make it lively and fun. That's a great idea. Let's work on that. Yes, let's work on that. So for anybody, I want to say for Carmen Miranda, that's me. I want you all have a nice night. Stay out of trouble. From Michelle Marie Delaney, that's me. Stay out of trouble. And from Lumi and Michele, you also stay out of trouble. We'll see you guys in the morning show, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Saturday. And on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, Twitch, and Kick. Absolutely. So for now, bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye, everybody.